Hello and welcome to the Tech Shed. My name is Patch. Yes, that's P-A-T-C-H, don't worry, I know. And I've been lucky enough to get my hands on the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. Now, to maintain full transparency, I will let you know that I've only just received it. Like literally, this is the first time I've held it. So this isn't going to be a comprehensive full review. I'll probably release a review video in a week or two. Instead, I thought I'd let you know what my first impressions of Samsung's newest flagship are, giving you some quick insights into what you can expect from the device. So, if you liked the video, let me know in the comments. If I didn't cover everything and you have some questions, again, in the comments. And if you want to see more consumer tech reviews, news, and random stories, hit that subscribe button. Now, with that aside, this is the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. Welcome to the Tech Shed. Okay, so unfortunately this didn't come to me in official Samsung packaging, so I'm not going to be able to do a super sleek ASMR unboxing. I mean, I'm not even geared up for that, so let's get straight on to the design. And yeah, it looks pretty similar. It's exactly what I was expecting. I can't, at first glance, see any noticeable differences when compared to the S24 Ultra. Now, unfortunately, I don't actually have an S24 Ultra to have a visual comparison, but just from memory, it looks very, very similar. You've got the S Pen down in the corner, which is always nice. It's nice to hold. It weighs 218 grams, so it's comfortable. I'm not having any issues with that. It is big, as you'd expect from the Ultra. Here's a comparison with an iPhone 15 Pro Max, so you can see that the S25 Ultra is a bit bigger. It's about the same width, I would say. Yeah, just sort of nothing really sticking out to me. It is sleek, of course. It looks nice, feels nice, but it's just the same. So, because I've only just got my hands on the phone, I am going to have to go through and set it up, sign into my Samsung account, my Google account, all that sort of boring stuff, so I'm going to skip through that. But from first glance, the screen is looking really nice. It's very similar to the screen on the S24 Ultra. It's a 6.9-inch QHD+, which I think means it's 0.1 inches bigger than the S24 Ultra. Not really noticeable. It boasts peak brightness of 2600 nits, which is immediately noticeable. Again, the same as the S24 Ultra though. It's a dynamic AMOLED 2X display and it supports up to 120 Hz refresh rate. It has vision booster, adaptive color tone, exactly what you'd expect. It's very similar to the S24 Ultra, but that's not really a problem. It's an awesome display. I'm going to log into everything and dive a little bit deeper into that now. Interestingly, while I was doing this setup, it did ask me to use Gemini as my assistant, and it didn't ask me for Bixby. So I'm wondering how those two will collaborate, or maybe one will just work and the other you can turn one on, one off kind of thing. I'll look into that in more depth in my review video, so subscribe so you can see that. So this is going through a lot of different things. There's a lot of AI type features that are new to the Samsung S25 Ultra. There's something called audio eraser. So if you think of the draw eraser where you erase somebody from a photo, now you can erase distracting noises in your videos. All very interesting, all very cool. We will look into that. But first, the screen. As I said, it's pretty similar to the S24 Ultra, but that's not a problem to me. It's an awesome display just from how smooth it is to navigate. Let's see if there's any other options. Display, screen mode. Not that, I'm looking for resolution. There you go. So it looks great even on that middle FHD plus resolution, but you can make it look even better with the QHD plus. Obviously that will use more battery. Let's apply that, and it just looks brilliant. Yeah, really, really nice display. Again, something I was expecting, but that doesn't take away from how good it is. Right, another thing I'd like to do is quickly run it through some performance tests. I'm going to put it through a Geekbench 6 test, which will test the CPU, and a 3D Mark GPU test, which you guessed it, will test the GPU, and I might even download a game as well. So I'm going to quickly do all that and show you the results. Now this uses the Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy chipset, and we ran it through the Geekbench 6 CPU benchmark test, where it achieved a single core score of 3131 and a multi-core score of 9887. Now to put that into perspective, that's better than the results we achieved with the Samsung Tab S10 Ultra, that big huge tablet. I've actually reviewed that, you can check that out up there. We also ran it through the 3D Mark test as mentioned, where it achieved an overall score of 6100 with an average frame rate of 36.53. Again, that's better than the Tab S10 Ultra. So what you need to know is this is an absolute performance powerhouse. Now, there are some features that I'm not going to go fully into. I'll save that for the review, but there's things like Pro Scaler, which aims to improve display image scaling quality. So I think that means the resolution will change depending on what you're doing, or it will try and make it better. It also has Vulkan engine and improved ray tracing for smoother, more realistic mobile gaming, and a 40% larger vapor chamber for improvements in thermal efficiency. So to test that, I downloaded a game called Asphalt something something something. Asphalt Legends Unite. It's just connecting to server. Let's have a quick go. See if it's as smooth as it should be. Now this is actually probably a good time where we can test the audio capabilities. Now, I don't have a mic directly on the phone or anything like that, so it might sound a little bit average, but for me the audio is very good. It's loud, bassy, you can feel it pump in the phone. It's pretty good. Whoa. I turn that down just so you can hear me. As you can see, the gaming performance is very smooth. No stuttering, no hiccups, nothing like that. This is going to be really good for whatever you put it through. It's going to be able to handle it. Again, something I expected it to be, but those results are impressive, especially when comparing it to the Tab S10 Ultra. Now the next thing I would look at is the cameras. This has a 5 camera array, including the front camera. On the back, there's a 50 megapixel ultra wide, 200 megapixel wide, 50 megapixel telephoto with 5 times optical zoom, and a 10 megapixel telephoto with 3 times optical zoom. On the front, it's a 12 megapixel front camera. Now, the reason this is called the tech shed is because I am in a shed and there's nothing really for me to take a photo of that would look interesting, so I'm gonna go out, take some photos and show you what it looks like. Again, with things like putting it on a YouTube video, the photos might be a little bit different, might not be as high quality, but that's a pretty good camera array, and if the S24 Ultra is anything to go by, then the photos this can take will be very good. Again, keep an eye out for my review as I go into that in a bit more depth. And lastly, the AI features. Now, Samsung has mentioned that the on-device AI features are only capable on the S25 Ultra because of that new powerful chipset. However, I wouldn't be surprised if we see all of these AI features come to the S24 range at some point. Now, I haven't been able to test any of these, but some of the things you can do. The highlight is something called AI cross-app actions. So basically what that means is you can ask the phone to do something that's across apps. Let's use an example. There's a restaurant. I'm looking for a restaurant with Korean food and I want it to send it in a text to my mum or my partner. I can tell the phone to do it and it will get the information from Google, wherever that is, and then put it in a text Very, very cool. There's conversational speech. It recognizes conversational speech, I should say. So you could say to it, find all the photos of me where I'm sitting down, or find all the photos of me when I'm wearing a red jacket, and it will separate them out. And you can even change your settings with conversational AI. So you can tell it to change which settings you want. Again, don't know how well this works. I will have to test it. Keep an eye out for that review. There's personalized recommendations like sleep cycles, that AI audio eraser that I told you about before, and then all of the other stuff you can expect from Samsung. All exciting stuff. I'm going to have to test it. So after holding this for about an hour and a half, what are my first impressions? What is my verdict? Well, obviously, it's a brilliant phone. It was always going to be, just like it was always going to be, expensive. It has a great design, a beautiful display, excellent performance capabilities, excellent cameras, and new AI features that I can see myself using in my day-to-day life. But does that make it interesting or exciting? Unfortunately, not really. It's almost exactly the same as the S24 Ultra. There's no real standout features here, but it leads to a question I have every time I review a flagship phone. What am I expecting? Am I expecting drastic changes, like if it was a rollable phone, do I want that? Or am I just expecting incremental upgrades to make it the best of what Samsung has to offer? Well, I kind of want something in the middle. I understand that it's just going to be incremental upgrades, but I want those upgrades to really blow my mind. And bear in mind, I've only looked at it for about an hour and a half. At this point, that's not the case. I feel like I'm just holding the S24 Ultra Part 2. So to put that in a nutshell, it's brilliant, but boring. We've seen it all before. But as I say, I need to dive deeper into those features. I need to dive deeper into the phone. I will do a full review, so please subscribe so you don't miss it. Anyway, that's been my first impressions of the S25 Ultra. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the main review. Cheers!